I think it's disgusting.
Yeah.
I think the two people that resigned are weak, ineffective people. I think that when they resigned, they set something in motion that's going to be a disaster for the next long period of time. They were weak, ineffective people. How we hire people like this. Trump should have been the chancellor of that university. Believe me, there would have been no resignation.
Really
Did you look at their demands? Their demands are like crazy. The demands that they're, the things that they're asking for, many of those things are like crazy.
What they're telling these students right now on the Missouri campus is, if you hear speech that you find insulting, call the cops. You are now supposed to call the campus cops if you hear something offensive. What are we doing to tomorrow's generation?
Well, we're being a little bit too tolerant, I guess you might say, accepting infantile behavior. And I don't care which side it comes from. You know, to say that I have the right to violate your civil rights because you're offending me is un-American.
Sort of opponents of the protest would like to give the impression that, well, there's a little bit of name-calling going on. You need a little bit of a thicker skin. This has been a terribly hostile environment for an awful lot of students for a long time, including, as you point out, death threats, swastikas, Confederate flags on trucks being driven around the campus and that sort of thing. I mean, this is a case of the black students on the campus just actually being fed up with the way they've been treated, and they've decided to fight back against it.
Political correctness is now choking candid conversation in this nation.
Marco Rubio used a similar line speaking to the Washington Post reporter that, quote, freedom of speech seems to be under assault in some of the finer institutions of this country. Chris Christie, however, went one step further, claiming that protests are a product of lawlessness that Obama allows.
Police at the University of Missouri say one person is in custody for allegedly making multiple threats to the school and students. Security is back to normal this morning, but the campus is still on edge following a rash of threats and rumors on social media. One anonymous person writing, quote, I'm going to stand my ground tomorrow and shoot every black person I see.
Our goal is to abolish inequalities at the intersection of race at the University of Missouri-Columbia. While today may seem bright to some, this is just a beginning in aiding and dismantling systems of oppression within higher education, specifically the UM system. The resignation of Tim Wolf is a glimmer of hope for historically marginalized students whose voices have been silenced by patriarchal white male institutions. Moving forward.
In terms of answering the question about the community, I definitely want to make sure that everything is centralized about the message of why we got here. Please stop focusing on the fact of the Mizzou hunger strike itself. Look at why did we have to get here in the first place, and why the struggle, and why we had to fight the way that we did. At the end of all this, after all the letters we've sent, all the in-person interactions, after all the forums we've attended, after all the tweets and DMs that we've sent, telling the administration about our pain, it should not have taken this much, and it is disgusting and vile that we find ourselves in the place that we do.